Will I you not know you? Will I you not know you? Askerit nadam khidachum.
It's a healing for a lot of harm that's been caused in the names of patriarchy and colonialism. And wouldn't it be great if the whole community could benefit from this?
Will I you not know you?
I think we have to tell our stories. I always talk about the things that we don't want to talk about, that aren't comfortable to talk about, how we have to pull them into the light. If we leave them in the darkness, they fester, they grow, and we never heal. We don't get over these things, and we pass this trauma down to the next generation. And that's what happened to us and our generation. We can talk about residential schools, colonialism, and all the things that have happened, and it's really about that trauma that's passed on intergenerationally.
The Creator told me I had to create a healing totem, that each chip represents a victim of domestic violence and sexual assault. And each chip is a broken home, a broken family, and a fear-based relationship. And that of all the chips that come off this totem, it won't be enough.
Will I you not know you? Will I you not know you? Askerit nadam khidachum.
So she says he'll finish, I guess. So she says someone else. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're working on gifts for the totem pole raising with Away. They are raven's tail weavings.
In the water when you feel very, very safe. You can't only do the hard stuff.
For me, this weaving project and all of the things that are happening with this totem pole and community healing and individual healing, I'm just really grateful to be a part of it.
All the way across. You have to titrate that. 2 ways. Like floating.
The design we're using is a cross-section of the lightning pattern in raven's tail. And I prepared all the materials myself. I spun the wool by hand and then dyed it with hemlock bark. And a really old tradition is you would cut up your most valuable belongings to pay witnesses at a ceremony. And so this references that in a way where we're giving a portion of a bigger design, but we're not destroying anything in the process.
I'm officially done with the pendant.
Alaska's unique in terms of domestic violence, one, because everyone's aware of it. In the United States, you hear, like, Alaska's #1 or in the top 5 for the rates of domestic or sexual violence, gender-based violence.
So drop that one back.
There are study after study that say that Alaska Native women are in more danger than white counterparts. And I think that has a lot to do with the way we are unwilling to look at what the real consequences of racism and marginalization are.
I like that. Yeah. So if I only twisted it once, this would be white, and that's wrong. You want to come up in the middle of it.
Should have been 2 grounds, 4 grounds.
Whether or not you've personally experienced domestic violence or sexual assault, whether or not you've perpetrated domestic violence or sexual assault, whether or not you love someone who's experienced. I mean, all of our lives have been impacted, and so we're dealing with collective, community-wide, societal wounds that are embedded in the harm of the histories that we've experienced.
You know, the thing is, victims think that it's only them. This is only happening. They don't realize there's a lot of people going through that same experience. And it's an aha when you realize, oh my gosh, I'm not the only person that has experienced violence in my home or seen this, lived in this craziness and this darkness. But the Aware organization wanted to take it a step farther and make a piece of art, kind of raise the awareness for domestic violence.
I heard about this thing called 1% for art. And my understanding of it is that when buildings were being spent with public funds, that 1% of the cost of the building went for art. And I thought that that was kind of brilliant. We chose Wayne Price. Wayne is very much into healing for himself as well as his community and our community. And the depth and breadth of that and what comes through in speaking with him and meeting with him was really inspiring.
With my own personal recovery, I've dedicated my whole career to wellness and healthy lifestyle and healing, and it helps me on my journey for doing these projects like this.
He infuses himself into the art. Like when he was carving the baby that the woman's holding, you could feel the love. You feel the love that the mother and that baby have. And you feel the baby's innocence just with his mom. And the little children at her side, you just feel their, just leaning to her. And, he gives that feeling to wood.
Wayne works closely with his wife, Sherry, and Sherry worked on the design. The design features a prominent figure who's called Kaasei, and beneath her are things that people want to heal from. So there's pain and sorrow and challenges, and above her are things that people might see as they're healing.
A lot of thought went into the design and the story of what we're trying to say.
She stands on a tier box that's under her feet now. That's where she was. The nature of that place oftentimes steals your voice as a victim. And traditionally, Wayne has told me the feather, how in a talking circle people pass a feather, and when you're holding the feather, it's your voice.
Yeah.
And your voice is respected.
The person holding the feather has the floor, so we use that concept.
When people look at this totem, at this art, and think about the design concepts of it, the concepts are things that people connect to and relate to, and it gets into your mind and your heart, and you remember and you think and you feel the healing.
I think that the work that AWARE does is so very important. It's so desperately needed. And unfortunately, you know, we work in an, provide services where we see the numbers, and numbers aren't going down, right? Like domestic violence, despite our best efforts, isn't stopping, right? But AWARE is looking at it at a full frontal view in that whole 360. They're looking at the children, they're looking at the spouses, they're looking at the partners, and they're trying to provide services that are going to really help that family. And they work really closely with the tribe, and I think that's so important. I think what AWARE did in this case is really involvement, really making sure that the people of the land were involved in every step, had a say that when this project's done, I think our Tlingit people are going to be able to say this reflects us, this, you know, resonates and hits home for us.
Yes, we love you, and thank you so much for all that you do. Look forward to what you do next.
I don't know that a lot of projects not started by us or done by us have that feel. And I think for the most part, people wouldn't know whether Tlingit Haida did this project or AWARE did this project, because we kind of did it together. I think that was unique.
Will I you not knew you? Will I you not knew you?
I mean, healing is never is not a destination. I don't know about you, but I've never been like, okay, good, done, healed. That just it doesn't work that way, because we're changeable, like infinite, beautiful creatures, and so there's always more work to do. But the question is, who helps you do that work? Where do you do that work? And how are you supported in doing that work versus kind of prevented from doing that work?
Will I you not knew you?
When the whole community takes ownership, when the city and borough of Juneau say, hey, we want healing from this. When Central Council says, hey, we want healing from this. When each one of us as individuals, as families, as a community, as a culture, as a society can come together and say, we take some responsibility. We can make this difference. It's community healing, that it's a healing
seems to be really easy to go down the path of not making the right choices. It takes hard work on the path coming into the light. And as an artist, this is what I can do to bring more people to the light. Finish cheese, please.
Wayne said something so profound the other day. You said, it doesn't matter how far deep you go into the dark, you can always turn around.
Yep. Yep. Been there, did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can always turn around. And I think I hope people come to the pole and to the screens, to that healing art, and look at it and let it help them just to remember that there's healing. You can heal. You have a voice. Beautiful job you did. I'm proud of you.
And thank you,
that to stand in Juneau
Yeah.
and help people.
Will I you not knew you? Will I you not knew you? Athkerit nadam, khwidachum.